What's up, YouTube? Back with another video. I want to go over this topic that the Matrix is not inherently all bad. Now, what do I mean about this topic? It might be a little controversial, but you have to understand that the Matrix is really just a mindset. It's really just a type of consciousness. And when you start to understand that the reality of the Matrix, it's really just a small world, and it's really just a small place within the bigger world, you will start to understand why they call people small-minded within the Matrix, right? Because it's also a low conscious place. But once you start to understand that people who live within the Matrix are people who have created it, right? So people who have created the Matrix, they created the Matrix for their own benefit. And as I started to really start to realize that inside of this world, whether you do things for quote unquote good or bad, I don't really get into the constructs of good and bad. You have to understand that you're doing these things out of a certain benefit, right? Because everybody does things for their survival or because they're benefiting from a certain situation. And people who have created this Matrix, they have done it because it's beneficial to them, right? So why do I say that this Matrix is not inherently bad? I say it because once you start to break out of the Matrix, you have to understand that there is no breaking it, right? You can only break out. You can only walk away from it. It hints why inside of the Bible we had stories like Sodom and Gomorrah. And within Sodom and Gomorrah, I believe it was God who, I think it was Abraham, Sarah, I forgot who else, but God basically told them to walk away and don't look back, right? And that's the same thing that you have to do with the Matrix. You have to walk away from it and not look back. But you have to realize that there are people on this earth who consciously want to live here. And I think that's one of the hardest things that I had to realize. Especially, I had this question inside of my mind, especially when I was more into religious belief systems. I had this hard time understanding that people choose to go to hell. But when you start to really ponder upon that thought, you start to understand that there are people here on this earth, they benefit from hell. There are people who choose to go to hell because there is an exchange that they're getting within it. There's also people that love to be there. They enjoy it. They get a thrill out of feeling certain sensations, whether it's power, whether it's harming others. There are people who choose this route. They actually choose this route because they enjoy it, and even if you choose the path of quote unquote good, you have to understand that there's a benefit that you get from choosing that route too. But people choose things really for the benefit of what benefits them, right? And I would say once you start to also understand that we are all one, and that you can also, you're not the only one that benefits from things, but you can also create opportunities for other people to benefit off of. You will break out of this Matrix. You will see that there is more. You would see that there is more. But you have to understand that you have to leave people where they are, where they live. Because the Matrix is really a dwelling place for people to thrive off of, right? And sometimes, within my day to day, I'll come across certain people, I'll interact with certain people, and it's as if you can tell by their mindset that they live within the matrix, which is a dwelling place. It's a home. And it reminds me every time I interact with them that I'm just like, oh, wait, this is not where I want to live. And you have to understand that every person that you interact with is a portal. And the only portal that you really want to interact with is yourself. So when you find like-minded people that you interact with and you get to dwell amongst their home, which is really their home, which is really their mindset, and if you guys share in the same thoughts, the same things, you're really just talking amongst yourself, right? With everybody that you interact with, that you choose to interact with, you're really just interacting with yourself. So when you realize that the matrix is that you don't have to live in the matrix, and you don't want to dwell with certain people, you can allow them to just live where they want to live, right? You just allow them to live where they want to live. AKA, what you're really doing is that you're allowing people to live within the creation of what they created, right? And I can go deeper into it, but you have to understand there's no changing somebody's creation. They have to change it. They have to break it down. If you start to become a part of somebody's creation in breaking it down, you're never going to break it. You have to learn to walk away from it and learn how to create your own creation. And that's what happens when you break outside of the matrix. You start to create your own world, right? And as you expand your consciousness, the beautiful thing about expanding your consciousness is that it's as if Source gives you, as they say that a picture has a million ways to look at it, it's the same thing as this world. It has a million ways of how to look at it, right? Like I'm near like this tree, right? You have to understand that this tree to me is not just a tree. It's more than a tree. As of right now, it's very hot. It's giving me shelter. Right now, this is my home. I don't see it as a tree. This tree nourishes me. This tree is my mother, right? This tree gives me life. It gives me breath. It gives me so much more. People see it as just, a tree, but it provides more than just being there. So you have to understand that the things that you see, and when you expand your consciousness and you break out of the matrix, it allows you to have more of a open mind, and you stop being small-minded, and you really get to have fun with creating. But why I really say that the matrix is not all inherently bad is because I think that there's a beautiful thing that you can, when you see the matrix, you can actually use it to close the door, right? You can choose to say, I don't want to see you, close the door. That's how you guys live, that's where you want to live, close the door. You can choose to close the door, right? And you have to understand that the matrix is just a choice. It's really just a choice. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. But I hope that you guys like this message. Peace and love.